we want to hear from is one of the most amazing angels out there. And she has dedicated her life to help others. She's dedicated her life to support others and their foundations. And more recently, she's dedicated her life to really get the best out of people on so many different levels. And I'm fortunate enough to I've only met her over the last few months, but every time I talk with her, I'm just get mesmerized. And like, classic example, just the other week, three of us were supposed to jump on and do a bit of a Q&A. And next minute, an hour later, it's like, oh yeah, we've got to get to that Q&A. I'm like, we've got to go. I've got to go. It's like, because the connection and what we come up with and what we talk about is truly amazing. So Scotty, I want to pass it over to you to introduce Heather, who is just one of the most amazing angels out there. And I just want to say thank you, Heather.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Shorty. Look, Heather's an interesting individual for me. Heather and I have an amazing relationship, but it's challenging at times. It's really challenging. We've stepped into each other, and we've played in each other's shadows as much as we have had in our hearts. And I think that's where the growth has come from. I think that's where we become stronger. And your support inside the business of Smiles and this event is huge. I can't thank you enough. And I'd like to welcome you on to share with everybody a bit about you, but also a bit about our journey, if that's okay.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. Delights me. How long have I got? Let me honour the time. How long have I got, James?
10 to 15.
10.
Yep.
7 minutes.
Ah, cool. Oh, I can breathe. So one of the things I want to go back, I want to do this course with Alan, right? So I met Alan. I was one of the early women in the campfire. So thank you, Alan, for trusting that and allowing us to join in. Allowing might not be the right word. Bringing us into the campfire, welcoming us into the campfire. And from there, that's where I met Scott, and that's where I met John. John, I was on a phone call with yesterday. Martin, I've connected with. John Craig. And all from connection is my highest strength, so I can link every dot with where I've met people. And one of the things with Alan's work is I wanted to do some of his courses. And then my intuition was like, just wait. And I'm like, I'm going to do one day. And it's like, wait. And then it's like, yeah, but one day I should do that. The mental, I should do it. And it's like, wait, one day you will. And it's like, how good is trusting your intuition? One day I was going to do one of Alan's courses. And guess what? It's today. Well, I'm not going to do it today, but so I think that's a big part of my journey is really coming home to trusting my intuition. And a lot of people out there talk about trusting your gut. My gut's not my intuition. So I found human design, which just has changed my life. I've been journeying it for 6 years. And what I did was found all of those things that I made so wrong about me were my genetic blueprint from bloody birth. And I'm like reading this stuff. And at first I thought, I'm an awful, ugly person because I impact people. I tell them what they probably don't want to hear sometimes. And I'm here to tell them what's probably going to happen. And so that's what I get to do with Scotty. It's like, I know what's going to happen if you don't do this. So, stop. And it's like literally gets to that, stop that nonsense. And someone brought up self-worth before. And I've spent most of my life feeling unworthy, undervaluing myself, right through my podiatry life, which was 40 years, even as the world champion in lacrosse. I started to tell people that on their 30th reunion, 30 years later, I actually started to say I'm a world champion. And then I find out in human design, self-worth, you're designed to feel unworthy. And it was just like the most joyous thing because I'm like, I'm designed to feel unworthy when I'm not doing me. That's the only time. If I'm doing what I'm designed to do, being what I'm designed to do, I don't feel like that at all. And, you know, it's $1 billion industry on, oh, come and feel worthy, go and do these steps. Bullshit. Just learn what your design is, and then you'll never feel it again. And if you do, you go, oh, where do I need to be more me? So it's debunking the myth. And then I had this thing I paid $200,000, all my money, really, to coaches who would tell me, go and do this, and therapists and whatever. And it just made me more suicidal, more and more depressed. And then it was like, I was constantly looking for direction, like, where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? What am I supposed to be doing? What am I supposed to be doing? Where am I going to go? Where am I going to go? What am I supposed to be doing? And then I read my design, it's looking for love and direction. And I would say, oh, no, I've spent all this time looking for direction. And then recently it was like, look in the mirror and it's like, oh, fruitcake. I didn't swear this time. That's good, guys. That's good. And I realized, no, I've spent my whole life looking for love. I've signed contracts because I wanted my family to love me. I've joined programs because I wanted people to love me. There's so many things, and the toll it has taken on me, it was silently killing me. Just because I didn't know who I was, my conditioning, my parents wanting to keep me safe, you know, everyone thinking they're doing the best for me. And I'm like, you know, who the hell am I? And I am this joyous, gregarious person who is designed to get really deeply sad at times, who is designed to get depressed, who now finds the joy of depression as like, oh, cool, I'm going into the compost. It's really dirty in there. It's really smelly. I can't see a friggin' thing. I don't know where I'm going. And from that compost, when it breaks down enough and it rots enough, then it's like, oh, then these little things spark. And then it was like, where am I not trusting my body? Because I've had body issues, I thought body dysmorphia, all these things. All these things I've given a label as like, in a way, wrong. And, you know, 20 years of therapy, $200 a month worth of pills, having my brain fried. And then I find this little map that's like says, oh, no, it's supposed to be doing all that. That's serious. And so human design is just one of the many tools. So when I'm talking with the guys, as a team, as a parent, as a partner, it's like, you know, calling each other home. And, you know, if we turn up and even tonight, being a victim was made wrong. And it's part of the thing, if we're playing our shadows, it's not wrong to be in the victim. It's not wrong to be in the compost. It's what making it wrong that is the wrong thing. And making it wrong to be depressed is the wrong thing when I look at it through the lens of human design, because according to human design, I'm supposed to get very deep and very sad and very melancholy. So when I take off that pressure of it being right or wrong, and then I just got a different reference point, and you may call it a reframe. It's like, you know, I'm feeling like, where am I going in life? I'm like, stop it, stop it. Just take the next step. And people would say, no one gets in a car and just goes for a drive. And I'm like, bullshit. Some of us do. And I have a gorgeous relationship with my dad. And I said to him recently, I got away for 4.5 days with my dad out of 14. And that's something that I've just been literally dying to do. And I got in it. So he's sitting there and I'm doing all the driving. He's been a truckie all his life, a driver, and I get to drive. Like, And as a kid, I would go driving with him. And he'd say at the family table, who wants to go away for a couple of days in the truck? And I'd always not put my hand up because I didn't want to take up space. And no one else would go. And then I'd like, you know, don't be too joyous. I'm super excited, me. You know, me. And then I said to him as we're driving, I said, so did you ever just get in your car and go? And he said, remember when we bought the van? I'm like, yeah, they bought a van. And he said, you and your mum, we packed it all up. And then we just got in the car. They spent months organising it. They literally got in the car. We waved them goodbye. They were in their 60s. They literally drove to the end of the street, got to the corner, and Dad says, where do you want to go? And my mum goes, when we got married, you told me you'd go to Darwin. Do you want to go to Darwin? I'm like, here is my dad. So many things that we make wrong about ourselves are our absolute perfection. It's who we are at the core. It's just when we're comparing it or being guided from someone who's looking through their lens, who doesn't understand your uniqueness, your absolute perfection, how you're designed to be, and it gets a little mixed up. And for me, I think I signed up for this crazy adventure called life. And I signed up to have the good, the bad, and the ugly. And then to come out on the other side and go, you know what's the better way to look at it? Stop making it wrong. Stop making it wrong to go in the dark. Now, the really big thing is you've got to stay safe. Because the amount of trees that I've lined up, the amount of scalpels that I could have slit my wrist with, and, you know, I know how to use a scalpel. I would have been gone in moments. But the thing is, there are so many times I didn't want to live like I was. And I just couldn't see the way forward. And I would say beautiful statements like, I can't go on like this. And it's the best thing you can ever tell yourself. I can't go on like this. It's like, cool, how can you go on then? I don't know. Let's find out. But what often happens is because we're in the compost, we can't see the way, and we think that we should be able to, then we spend a lot more time probably in the compost. When we have those conversations, you go, I don't know how to go on with life. It's like, oh, cool. Okay, yeah, been there. All right. What's the next step? Who can we chat to? It takes it gives us a different way to look at it. So we can look at it as being the biggest pandemic, or we can call it the biggest awakening of humankind. That we start to look at it in a different way, and we hold each other's hand, and arm in arm together, we walk this journey, keeping each other safe while we're in the compost. So, that
Beautiful.
seems a bit heavy.
Beautiful.
No, look, it's but
That's amazing. That is so beautiful.
sorry, go. Sorry.
No, I just wanted to say that was absolutely beautiful. And, you know, as Trish said, grab a hold of a worm in the compost. Yeah, like there's gold in the compost. Scotty.
Yeah, and look, and that's basically where we're at. We're grabbing a hand. We're grabbing each other's hand. We're walking together. You know, and I think, oh, Oscar, amazing story, Heather. Well done, Oscar. I love it. You're right in there. But it's and it's just something that is amazing. You know, one thing for me is we've got these amazing kids in our world that get the opportunity to walk a bit freer because they're not carrying the emotional weight of what some of our lives have been.
Yeah, and when I wrote my first book, and one of the lines that a lot of people picked up is, you know, I wrote it early when I was writing, you don't have to follow in your mother's footsteps. And I went, whoa, what has that got to, you know, or can I write that? Can I put that out there? And then at the end of it sort of sat heavy for a while because my mum's such a warrior. She's such a warrior, and warriors are such warriors of this world. She spent her whole life worrying about me. I spent most of my first 2 years in hospital. They thought night after night they were going to lose me, rushing me off to emergency. My family prayed I would die. I was that sick. So has she tried to protect me my whole life? Absolutely. Thank you, Mum. Did she worry? Absolutely. To make it wrong that my mum is a warrior is just crazy because she is such a warrior at 88. So, and now I understand my mum's design. I understand my dad's design. I have a whole new world. And when at the end of the book that I'd written, I realised, no, you don't have to follow in your parents' footsteps. But what you get to do is you get to bring them on the journey. And that's what we're doing here. You know, you guys are bringing your parents on the journey. It's like, cool, we're going to stop what's happening. We're going to bring the benefits of what we've learned. We're going to bring the good things with us, and we're going to prune off everything else, and we're going to graft some other things on. And we're going to have a new journey as adults, as equals, as seeing each other without the power play And a lot of people never get to do that. They stay in those power play things with their parents. And here we're not doing that. We're meeting them. And one of the reasons that I'm also here is I have family members that they're also divorced and friends. And the hatred because of the hurt and the misunderstanding that goes between, you know, the parents to the children. And I was a solo parent from after the first one, then we got back together and a solo parent again. And no matter how hard it was, and no matter how much at times I disliked the dad and his behaviour, I would teach my kids to love him. To love your dad. He's your dad. He's your dad. I don't journey with him anymore. Sometimes I don't like him. Sometimes I don't respect him. Oh, put that aside. He's your dad. And please love your dad. And the sadness and the pain I feel for the kids and for the parents who are in so much hurt that they project that other shit onto them. I mean, it's just so wrong. And it's like, no, we can do it better. Yeah.
But that's exactly what this is about. You know, we can do it better. That's why there's places like the Campfire Project. That's why there's places like the Business with Smiles to create a soft place for people to land, to have these discussions, create a safe place so that we can have the discussion, so we can take them back to the people we love at home. So we're not dumping that energy on them. You know, that's the most important thing. You know, like I was a part of a beautiful presentation, and I'm not going to take up too much more time because it's a long time on Zoom. But it's just, and I really want to thank you for that, Heather, because that whole piece is what this is about. It's about where do we place our energy? What's our return on our investment? We throw negative out, we're going to get it back. We throw love out, we're going to get that back too. Tonight, people on the screen are giving me the love back. They're giving Shorty the love back. We're giving each other the love. We're giving each other by the hand. We're walking this journey together. We're supporting one another so that we don't have those points of pain. I don't ever want to rob somebody from their pain because it's one of the greatest tools for us to learn. But I do want us to have a safe place to process it. And that's what this is about. Trish, I just want to honour you right now for sharing that. I really want to thank you. I'm so grateful that you're safe to do that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. No, my kids are in special education classes, so they all have special needs. But no, I do talk to them like that, just blatantly. I have bipolar disorder and I am on medication. It's taken me a while to get to this place, but I know I can handle things now, as before I couldn't. And I need to face up to that. Nobody could take me to a psychologist or anything. I had to make the decision. So, yeah, long journey.
It is one worth taking. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I think the important thing is that we keep each other safe.
Yeah.
You know, and one of the things is owning it if you don't feel safe. And I remember the time I rang my psychiatrist. I was down in Tasmania at a conference, and he'd give me his private number. And he's like, I can't take you on board if you can't guarantee you're safe. And I just rang him at 12:30 at night, sitting on the bathroom floor, and it's like, I'm not safe. And that's the thing. If we're not safe, then we have to tell someone.
Yep.
We do. We've got to know where those safe places are. That's why.
Well, I think the thing is, there's a lot more than we think there is.
That's right. And that's why we need to use our voices to let people know that we have these places. I'm one voice that works with many voices. So, from Oscar, everyone has a different way of life, and every person has a different version of a happy and enjoyable life. You're damn right, mate. And
absolutely,
the acceptance in that is just beautiful. Thank you for sharing.
You're a legend, Oscar.
So If it's okay, Shorty, just due to time, do you want to take over from this point?
Wonderful. Heather, from my heart to Scott's heart to your heart to all our hearts, I just want to acknowledge you and thank you. You are an amazing human, beautiful woman, beautiful person. And I just want to say thank you. And I so can't wait for us to share a lot of campfire discussions around the campfire as we go for this amazing journey. So thank you for all your support and all that you've given us. Really, really appreciate it. So thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. It is not the end, but yet the beginning. And as we take one step in front of the other, all your hearts, all your smiles will be with us. I shared a little story when I was running the other week from Byron to Lennox. It was about a 15K run. And I was running against the traffic and the cars were going about 80 to 100 Ks. And I was wearing this shirt. Every car that drove past me either tooted, yelled out, ew, but more importantly, they had this. And that fueled me one step and then another step and then another step and then another step. And everyone's smiles tonight have filled my heart, and I know they've filled Scott's heart. And I just wanted to acknowledge everyone tonight for being here. Thank you from all aspects of us. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for being on this journey, and keep on smiling. Thank you very, very much. Scotty?
Yeah, beautiful. Shorty, I really want to thank everyone. You know, like, what a beautiful community we've got. What a beautiful community we're building. What a beautiful place that my son's got to grow up in. Thank you, everybody, for being a part of that. I'm just so blessed to be a part of it, but I really wanted to do a huge thank you quickly. Jack, you did a great job tonight. First time on Zoom trying to do this. Thank you so much, mate. I really appreciate that. Shorty, Alan, we've already loved you with my heart. I can sit here and just it could be a mutual admiration society tonight. Just give my love to everybody. Just like, you know, you've got it. But there's one person tonight that deserves it more than anyone else. It's you, Shorty. It's been a difficult time, and it hasn't been a road that's been walked easily. And right now, I'm supported in ways I've never seen, you know, and I've never met you, mate, and you're loving me like no tomorrow. I can't thank you so much for that, mate. From all my heart, I love you and thank you. Okay?
Thank you, brother.
Oh.
Thank you. Well, there we go. Thank you, Scotty. Love you, brother. We're going to be running, walking, crawling, holding each other up, crying, spitting, whatever you've got through this 1,300 Ks. And I just wanted to acknowledge you all once again for being here tonight. There'll be an email coming out a little bit later with it. Would love to get your feedback on tonight. Thank you for sharing it. And if you want to unmute yourselves and give us a yeah or a goodbye or whatever you want to share, and happy to go whenever you want to go. Thank you all for turning up tonight.
Thank you. Everyone.